Now, a shocking new report from the WWF, the World Wildlife Fund. They say over the last 40 years, the loss of vertebrate species around the world, animals, mammals, fish, birds, reptiles, they've dropped 60% on average around the world. The report lays the blame on humans. And what we're seeing now, they conclude, is, quote, close to a mass extinction event. The WWF says it's the last generation that could do anything about it of any significance. Only 25% of the world's land mass now is free from the impact of humans, and that will drop steadily to 10% within the next 3 decades. With me now is Sarronwala, a communications executive director with WWF International, joining us from Switzerland. Thank you so much for being with us. The report notes, in particular, South and Central America by far have the most dramatic decline in animal species. How bad is it there in those continents, and can anything be done to stop it?
Well, thank you for having me. So as you rightly pointed out, 60% of wildlife populations have decreased around the world. And in Central and South America, it's at the worst. It's at about 89%. So that's really the kind of decline that we've seen in the period that's measured between 1970 and 2014. It's important to actually note that it's not just about the species, because the species are highly correlated with the habitat destruction that goes on. And that's really where we're talking about the impact of human activity being felt on nature and biodiversity, the very systems of Earth that sustain us.
Sudhanshu, I want to ask about just human life. I mean, if this is so severe, so critical, and we're the last generation that can have any meaningful impact before it's a runaway kind of mass extinction event, I mean, can people still have children? Should people still be having families? Because that's contributing to the problem. Energy, water, food costs, meat. How can we still have kids and feel good about it?
Well, if we are responsible for problems, we can also solve them. And that was the same issue with climate. There was a recognition that we can do something about it, and we're doing something about it. We have a short window during which the forces can come together. Governments can come together, businesses can come together, societies can come together to be able to actually bend that curve on biodiversity loss and restore biodiversity so that the very systems that provide us the food we eat, the air we breathe, the water we drink, all of this is maintained, because you can't really have healthy people if the planet is not healthy. That's the reality of how the Earth's ecosystems work. And therefore, yes, your question, yes, we should. There is hope, and yes, we should look to the future.
Sudhanshu, what about the world's oceans, the pollution in the water? So much focus on animals, really is on land mammals that we can take video of more easily. We can see them with our eyes. But the pollution in the oceans, the report notes, is so severe right now.
Absolutely. And fish were marine life was very much part of this population that was sampled and features within the 60%. So you've got pollution within the oceans also having an impact on marine life. You're aware of all of the talk around plastic pollution. Everybody knows how big that problem is. We know the issue around coral reefs and what that means in terms of, whether it's been climate change that's impacting the reefs, or whether it just be habitat destruction in terms of unsustainable fishing practices that might have been happening. So yes, the oceans are just as critical as the landmass. And you're right that a lot of that does not necessarily get seen, but that doesn't mean it's any less important.
It's truly eye-opening report and an immediate call for action.